Some cars are heading into 2026 with repair costs that are just wild. Not because people are guessing, but because the early data and mechanic reports are already showing what's about to get expensive real fast. And if you're shopping next year, a few of these models could easily turn into the priciest mistake you make. Hey guys, this is Scott from CarLandTV, and today we're looking at the 7 cars predicted to rack up the highest repair bills in 2026. But first, do me a quick favor. Tap that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. It ain't required, but those clicks keep this thing rolling and make it easier for me to keep dropping solid car content straight to your screen. Now let's get back into it. Bentley Bentayga. Kicking this list off with the Bentley Bentayga, because this thing is basically the poster child for brutal repair costs. When I pulled the data on the Bentayga, the 10-year maintenance tab comes out around $28,860, with about a 74.4% chance of a major repair, according to a CarEdge-based breakdown that got picked up in a recent Bentley cost analysis. Another CarEdge-backed write-up pegs the Bentayga at roughly $29,341 over 10 years, with the same 74.4% major repair risk. By comparison, most luxury vehicles sit around $10,000 to $13,000 in 10-year maintenance, so the Bentayga is roughly double or more than double the norm. There is more. One long-term ownership breakdown using the same CarEdge data puts the Bentayga at about $35,372 in 10-year maintenance, with a 66.7% chance of a major repair, and shows yearly costs ramping from around $1,250 in year 1 to over $6,700 by year 10. On top of that, a UK service guide lays out what owners actually see. Routine services in the £800 to £1,500 range, carbon ceramic brake jobs at £4,000 to £6,000 per axle, air suspension struts at £1,000 to £2,000 each, and transmission rebuilds running £3,000 to £6,000. Extended warranty data backs the scale of single failures. One coverage provider lists typical Bentayga repair ranges like $28,000 to $45,000 for an engine, $25,000 to $45,000 for a transmission, $8,000 to $16,000 for suspension work, and $4,500 to $9,000 for infotainment. So when I say this thing sits at the top of the 2026 repair cost pile, that is based on concrete dollar amounts, not just saying it's expensive. Bentley Continental GT. Next up on this hit list is the Bentley Continental GT, and the numbers on this one are rough too. Long-term data pegs the Continental GT at about $25,135 in maintenance and repairs over the first 10 years, with around a 58% chance of a major repair in that same window. That is over $12,000 higher than the average luxury coupe's 10-year maintenance cost, and even in the first 5 years, you are looking at roughly $8,843, which is about $3,300 above the segment norm. No cap, that is a serious tax for the badge. When you drill into how that plays out, it tracks with what shops and dealers are charging. Continental GTs need annual or 10,000-mile services, and fixed-price menus overseas show minor services in the ballpark of €800 to €1,300, and major services running €1,200 to over €3,100, depending on whether you have the V8 or W12. On top of that, owners still have to budget separate money for brake fluid, coolant, spark plugs, belts, and tires, which are all priced at Bentley levels, not Audi or BMW money. Then there is the bigger stuff that kills budgets. Industry write-ups using the same CarEdge data point out that the Continental GT's major repair risk is about 25% worse than that of similar luxury coupes. If you get hit with a transmission issue, suspension overhaul, or electronic failure, you are talking multi-thousand-dollar repairs. Easy. Put all that together, and the Continental GT lands near the top of any 2026 most expensive to keep running chart. If someone is shopping for a used car, the smart move is to treat the sticker price and the future repair fund as 2 separate checks. BMW XM. The BMW XM is the one that really shows where modern BMW ownership costs are headed, no cap. This thing isn't just a fast SUV, it's a 6,000-plus pound plug-in hybrid with a twin-turbo V8 and a ton of electronics stacked on top. Kelley Blue Book pegs average annual maintenance on the 2024 XM at about $848 a year, which works out to roughly $4,243 over 5 years just for maintenance. On top of that, KBB's own cost-to-own breakdown shows around $106,716 in depreciation over 5 years, so you're getting hit from both ends, value drop and ongoing upkeep. That's a different world from something like a Toyota Highlander, which KBB lists at around $4,063 over 5 years, for maintenance at a fraction of the price. Brand-wide data backs up why I'm putting the XM near the top of a 2026 repair cost list. CarEdge's 10-year numbers show BMW averaging about $15,991 in maintenance, with roughly a 47% chance of a major repair in 10 years, which is the highest maintenance bill and highest major repair risk among the big luxury brands they compared. Mercedes and Audi sit thousands lower and with less major repair risk. The XM is a high-output M product with a more complex hybrid system than a regular X5 or X7, so it's not wild to say it will live on the expensive side of those averages once people rack up real miles. From a wrenching standpoint, the recipe is pretty simple. Twin-turbo V, 8+ electric drive, big brakes, rear steer, active suspension, and heavy software integration mean labor hours stay high, and most jobs are dealer or specialist only. You miss scheduled services or skip proper cooling and oil changes, and you're asking for turbo, battery, or drivetrain problems that are 4-figure or 5-figure repairs. So, if someone is eyeing an XM in 2026, the move is to budget for that reality up front. Extended coverage, solid maintenance records, and a real emergency repair fund are part of the deal with this truck. BMW X6M. Now, the BMW X6M is the part of this list where I start telling people, yeah, this one's fun, but you better bring a real budget. Kelley Blue Book has the 2025 X6M at about $156,000 for 5-year cost to own, with around $74,000 of that just in out-of-pocket stuff like fuel, insurance, maintenance, and repairs. Out of that pile, maintenance is a bit over $4,200, and repairs are a little over $2,100 in just 5 years, and KBB ranks it in the worst cost bracket for luxury midsize SUVs. Edmunds turns around and backs that up with their true cost-to-own numbers. For a 2025 X6M competition, they're showing roughly $151,000 over 5 years, with about $10,100 in maintenance and just over $3,000 in repairs, plus more than $78,000 in depreciation alone. That breakdown also shows where it spikes. Basically no maintenance the first 2 years, then over $5,600 in year 4 and another $3,400 in year 5, with repairs only kicking in heavily in years 4 and 5 too. From a real-world side, that tells me this is the kind of SUV that feels fine while it's new, then starts asking for bigger checks once the miles stack up and the free or prepaid service is gone. Twin-turbo V8, mild hybrid hardware, big brakes, performance tires, complex suspension, all of that adds labor hours and parts cost. So if someone's locking in an X6M in 2026, the smart move is to treat those 5-year numbers as a warning label and plan your maintenance fund around them. BMW X7. On the BMW X7, the money trail is pretty easy to follow, no cap. When I pull the 2026 numbers from KBB, the 5-year cost to own lands at about $112,529, with around $51,446 of that in depreciation and $61,083 in out-of-pocket costs. Out of that out-of-pocket stack, KBB breaks out roughly $4,539 for maintenance and $2,468 for repairs in the first 5 years, and it still ranks in the 11-25% worst cost group for luxury full-size SUVs. Edmunds backs up the "this is not cheap to keep" angle. On a 2025 X7 xDrive 40i, their true cost-to-own chart shows about $9,111 in maintenance and $2,558 in repairs over 5 years, with most of that hitting in years 3, 4, and 5. You see basically zero maintenance in the first 2 years. Then it jumps to around $4,070 in year 4 and $4,454 in year 5, with repairs only popping up once the miles build. That lines up with how these trucks behave once they are out of the sweet early ownership window. Then you mix in brand data. RepairPal rates BMW at 2.5 out of 5 for reliability, 30th out of 32 brands, with an average annual repair cost of $968 and a higher than average chance of shop visits and severe repairs. Put all of that together, and the X7 lands in that zone where the purchase price is only half the story. If someone is shopping for one for 2026, a real maintenance and repair fund has to be part of the plan. Land Rover, Range Rover. Range Rover owners kinda already know what I'm about to say, but let me put numbers on it so we're not just guessing. No cap. CarEdge pegs a Land Rover Range Rover at about $20,136 in maintenance and repairs over the first 10 years, which is roughly $7,600 more than the average luxury SUV. On top of that, They show about a 51% chance of a major repair in that 10-year window, and even in the first 5 years, you are looking at $6,784 in maintenance and repair with the same 51% major repair risk. Zoom in on newer models, and it lines up. Kelley Blue Book's 5-year cost to own a 2024 Range Rover comes out to about $129,740 total, with around $9,353 in maintenance and $3,113 in repairs in just the first 5 years. Most of that maintenance is stacked in years 4 and 5, where you see big jumps from roughly $1,000 up to more than $3,000, and then over $4,000 a year. RepairPal calls the Range Rover's reliability 2 out of 5, with an average annual repair cost of $1,258 compared to $1,127 for other luxury full-size SUVs and $652 across all vehicles. There are also real-world breakdowns that blend those sources. One long-form ownership write-up pulls CarEdge and RepairPal together and shows typical estimates in the $675 to $1,780 per year range, with ugly cases hitting $4,500 to $5,000 per year on maintenance, plus another $4,500 in repairs if stuff goes sideways. So if someone is set on a Range Rover in 2026, the honest play is to treat those numbers as part of the purchase. This is a truck you buy with an extended warranty, a solid service history, and a repair fund already baked into the budget. Mercedes-Benz GLs. To wrap this list up, I've got to talk about the Mercedes GLS, because this one catches a lot of people off guard. When I look at the numbers, CarEdge estimates about $5,940 in combined maintenance and repair just in the first 5 years, and tags the GLS with around a 44% chance of needing a major repair in that window, which is worse than a lot of its luxury SUV peers. No cap. That's a big risk profile for a family hauler. On top of that, real-world breakdowns for the GLS 450 put routine maintenance in the $800 to $1,200 per year range, with basic stuff like oil changes running $250 to $350, brake jobs $300 to $600 per axle, and fluid services another $150 to $300 a pop. Kelley Blue Book backs up how heavy the ownership curve feels. For a 2025 GLS, KBB shows a 5-year cost to own of about $108,952, with out-of-pocket costs at $60,644 and depreciation at $48,308. Inside that out-of-pocket bucket, maintenance adds up to around $8,747 and repairs about $1,623 over 5 years. The pattern matters too. Maintenance is light early, then spikes to about $5,578 in year 4, with repairs hitting $651 in year 4 and $972 in year 5. So the truck feels fine while it's new, then starts asking for more money as the miles and years stack up. For reliability context, RepairPal data summarized in a GLS ownership review pegs average annual repair costs at roughly $1,037, compared to about $652 across all vehicles, and notes that complexity and proprietary parts are a big reason the bills run higher. Service guides also show Mercedes putting GLS Service A in the $320 to $520 range at the dealer. So if you're eyeing a GLS in 2026, the smart play is to budget 4 figures a year for upkeep, look hard at an extended warranty, and make peace with the fact that this thing is not a cheap date.